She began serving as the interim chief of police on January 1st, 2018, and was confirmed by the city council as a permanent chief of police on August 13th, 2018. Prior to her current post, she served at nearly every level of the department, including police officer, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, commander, deputy chief, and everything in between. As deputy chief, Best oversaw the patrol operations, investigations, and special operations bureaus, as well as the community outreach section. She's completed the Senior Management Institute for Police, the FBI National Academy, and the Criminal Justice Executive Leadership Academy. In 2015, she received the Newsmaker of the Year Award from the Seattle Black Press. In 2016, she completed the Major City Chiefs Association Police Executive Leadership Institute. Is that an acronym? Chief Best is married and has 2 daughters. Please welcome Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best.
Good morning. Thank you, Lauren, for that wonderful introduction. It's always embarrassing to sit here and listen to that. But, I'm very glad to be here this morning on this beautiful, beautiful Seattle morning. I always say there is no place better in the world than Seattle. When the sun is shining, it's the best place on earth. Sorry, Disney. But certainly glad to be here. Want to acknowledge, of course, our King County Council Member Joe McDermott, also Council Member City of Seattle, Councilmember Lisa Herbold, Port of Seattle here, wonderful table to be sitting at, and of course Salties for having us here, and the Chamber for allowing me to come and speak to you this morning. I'm very excited about it. I wanted to start by, I know there's some award winners, so I want to make sure I congratulate all of them, and thank you for your remarkable leadership in Seattle. I know you're going to see West Seattle, I know you're going to hear from them later, but your contributions are invaluable, and you're making a real difference in our community. As I look around the room, I'm really heartened to see the faces of so many people across so many industries who represent not only West Seattle, but represent our city very well. And I really am committed to and hoping for your continued progress. And associations like the Chamber are a way that we can really make a difference in our community. It's individuals like you who contribute to the growth and to the success of Seattle. I want to talk to you this morning about some of our recent accomplishments in public safety and really talk to you about some of the vision that I have for the future. And I tell the story often, but it's so true, that we only have a limited amount of time to make a difference for certain positions that we're in. And I don't know if anybody knows Simon Sinek. He's a speaker, but I was watching, I like to watch him on YouTube and on the TED Talks, but he was talking about giving his points of advice to a graduating class. And he gave 5 points of advice, but it was a third one that stood out to me. And he's talking about being this general who had recently retired, and he sees him in a subway. And he's in the subway, and he's schlepping his bags up onto the subway, going to the airport or something. And he says, a week ago, this guy was traveling all over the world. He had a security detail, and he was doing all this stuff. And then he retired, and now he's schlepping his bags on the subway like everybody else. And his point with that was that, it's really not about you. It's about your position and what you do with it. And also what I took from that was you have a limited amount of time to make a difference. So when I tell my command staff when we meet, I said, our legacy starts today. We are not going to be here forever. We've got to try to build this place up, push things forward and move it on so the people who come in behind us are ready to do the work and pick up the pace behind us. So I really feel like it's important, and I say this all the time, a sense of urgency. We just have to operate with a sense of urgency, and I take that wherever I go. So as many of you are aware, we've been under a federal consent decree since 2012. And in January 2018, the Honorable Judge James Robart declared us in full and effective compliance with that consent decree. But today we are well underway into our sustainment period, which means 2 years that we have to show that we're able to maintain that sustainment as we go forward. So make no mistake about it, completing that first phase of reform was really important, and it was a reflection of the hard work of the men and women on the department. And we're going to continue that and keep moving it forward. You know, our officers, they are on the front lines every day of all the tragedy and unpredictability that is inherent in policing. It is a tough job. You know, we're doing it, we are dealing with crisis, homeless, addiction, poverty, and all sorts of other issues on a daily basis. And they do it, in my opinion, very well. It's a hard job. It's not a job everybody can do. And as much as we need people, every single month I have to decline people who just aren't able to make the cut. You know, and we'd love to have people. We're hiring, but you know, but it's not a job everybody can do, and that is the truth of the matter. So I appreciate the work of the men and women, and they do it under intense scrutiny, more scrutiny than any place else I know of. And believe me, I've been all over the country with other police chiefs trying to learn about policing and what happens there. I mean, in Seattle, the officers wear a body-worn camera. They have a camera in the front seat of the car. They have a camera in the back seat of the car. We have an OPA. We have an Office of Inspector General. We have a Community Police Commission. We are under the view of the Federal Monitor, the Department of Justice, and the Federal Judge. I can't think of another place, and I know chiefs everywhere. Michael Moore from Los Angeles, you know, Jimmy O'Neill from New York. None of them have as much scrutiny or as much oversight as the Seattle Police Department. And I say that not as a complaint, but just to tell you that, you know, we're moving forward and we're doing good work under intense scrutiny more than most people any place else could ever handle. If you had to do your job every day with a camera on you at all times, everything being monitored, the amount of paperwork and oversight that we're doing, you would find this a tough work. It would be tough work, but I think we do it, you know, as good as anybody. You know, sadly, and it's probably not a surprise to most of you, but you know, housing affordability and homelessness have become one of the primary concerns of cities across the country. You know, decades-old mental health services shortage really surpassed the stage of crisis. Opioid addiction has been declared, you know, a state of emergency in our country by the Surgeon General, Jerome Adams, and we're dealing with these issues, you know, on a daily basis. Today, our officers really, they're not just police officers in the traditional sense. When I came on to policing 27 years ago, all I wanted to do, and this is the truth, all I wanted to do was catch bad guys and put them in jail. That was it. That was the focus of my day working in the East Precinct on Capitol Hill. You know, I'd look at all the who had warrants and what was outstanding, where people might be, and I'd go looking for that when I wasn't responding to 911 calls. But the job has changed and evolved immensely since then. It really and truly is different now. And the work that we're doing is so much more complex. We have to be counselors, system navigators, EMTs. We're expected to respond to every situation, handle it professionally with very little or almost no room for error, have it all documented on a camera, and also continue to make, you know, meaningful community relationships along the way and make the connections. And by all estimates, and this is research has shown this, officers today are doing 10 times more work than ever before. So they're working really, really hard. And sometimes we're not the best intervention for the challenges that we're dealing with, to be honest with you. But we're available, we're 24/7, and we're responding. And that's the way that works. And you know, it often can create challenges not only for the people we're responding to, but for the officers themselves. Last year, Seattle police officers responded to 15,995 crisis calls across the city. I was gonna let that sink in. 15,995 crisis calls. It's a lot, and nearly 80% of those calls, you know, the officers that responded were certified crisis intervention officers. But that's a lot of calls to respond to. And in less than 2% of those calls is any force used. I mean, and it's, you know, you're dealing with a lot of unpredictability there, but they really are using very, very little force. And most of that, of the less than 2%, was just de minimis, you know, minor stab, cut, or scrape, or something like that. You know, the crisis calls in the city have surged. They're up 26% for us last year, 26% more than we had ever before. And so it's a challenge. That's one of the areas that we're challenged. But really, our responses are a testament to the training and the professionalism of the men and women who are providing 911 emergency responses to our community every single day. Another example of how our work has changed and is so different now is that the city has the navigation team, which actually is under Human Services Department, but we have dedicated, 9 of our own staff to be a part of that navigation team, because we think it's really important that we have, in the ecosystem that we're dealing with all the other city departments and all the other issues, that we also are contributing and helping with some of these really pervasive issues. It's staffed by outreach professionals, again, from HSD, and our officers. And while we have, a real responsibility to respond to 911 calls for service, we also know that we have a role in playing in some of these other complex issues. And the purpose of the team is to bring more people inside and create faster resolutions to hazardous situations. Again, advanced certified crisis officers are there, and they really work hard on de-escalation and other techniques to bring people to calm and to safety. It is clear that we have entered a new era of policing. One that I refer to, if you get my Twitter, at Carmen Best. Yeah, if you ever sign for that, it is, we call it hashtag holistic policing. Because officers are doing, like I said, so much more than ever before. And they need tools focused not solely on enforcement. In fact, enforcement is, about half of what we do. There's so much more to the work now than just enforcement stuff. It's very different than it was 27 years ago when, Officer Carmen Best hit the streets and was just looking to put bad guys in jail. We need other items on our tool belts to help officers coordinate services for people in crisis, to deliver trainings that develop skills, empathy, and understanding. Holistic policing in practice means creating a police department that is capable, that is trained and equipped to serve the community in every situation. This really doesn't mean that officers need to provide the service to fix every problem, although in my mind sometimes it feels like that. But that's not it. It really is us making sure that we're able to provide the best service that we can when we're called. Holistic policing, at the end of the day, is about service. The way we provide service is a great equalizer that helps eliminate social division. I always tell the officers, at the end of the day, it's constitutional policing for everybody. So it doesn't matter your socioeconomic status, it doesn't matter if you're a business owner, or you're on the street, or whatever it is. We have to provide constitutional policing to everybody. And that is, in fact, a great equalizer. We have to be compassionate, and we have to be caring, but we also have to take care of people who are breaking the law, right? So there's all of those things combined. And we have to approach it from the perspective and just understand that this is our community. These are the people that we socialize with, that we live with, that we talk to. This is a part of the community. We're a part of the community is a part of us. And we have to set the example for generations to come. And service is at the heart of our work. The desire to serve is instilled in each and every one of our officers. And it is what brought us to this profession. I'm not being naive about this. I know we have a tough work, and we have to put handcuffs on people, we have to deal with crime, we have to deal with disorder, but really it is about service. And our department, I don't care what you hear, I have the data. Our proactive work is up 38%. So when I hear people say the cops aren't police, they are policing, because I'm tracking what they're doing. 38% we're up. And last year we made 10,212 arrests. Wow. So much more than, the year before that it was in the 9,000s, the year before that was in 8,000 something. I don't have the exact numbers, but 10,212, I do know that. So they're doing what they need to do. They also made about 1,000 referrals to other agencies. So the work is continuing with the police officers. They're out there getting it done in a really tough environment. And by the way, it's really hard to recruit in this wonderful, it's wonderful that we have 3% unemployment, but that makes it just that much harder to bring people in to the work. My daughter, I have 2 daughters, but my youngest daughter is 23, and I said, you should go in, you're a great athlete, you're fine. She's like, Mom, she works at Amazon and she works from home. She makes 6 figures, I can't offer her that, right? You're gonna, so, and not to complain about that, but that's the world we live in, so, and I was giving a speech at Microsoft maybe 2 months ago, right, Salima, about that, and they were telling me right now they have 5,000 positions that they could fill. 5,000 right now. And this state, 740,000 jobs over the next 5 years. So you don't want to complain about booming and growing. Seattle's not dying, it is thriving. It is moving, it is growing, and it is, we have our challenges. There's a lot happening here, right? There is a lot of stuff going on. So, that makes it harder for the police department to recruit, because I can offer you 30 pounds of equipment, long shifts, hard hours, challenging work, and, a lot of scrutiny. But, if you, if you want to give back, you want to feel good about the work that you're doing, right? There is no job that has, at the end of the day, everybody, almost every day, has something good that they can say that happened in their day. And every day is different. So that's what really keeps most people going, because when they get here, they usually stay. Most cops are 30-year people, so the work is good work if you have that kind of desire to give back in that way. So, as we continue our work, we also recognize that we're in an unprecedented time of change. We're trying to keep pace with emerging technology, to exceed community expectations to deliver police services, and to face the rapid information sharing of the media. Things get out before we can even get the facts straight sometimes, and often it's misinformation, right? Because they're trying to do it quickly. And I recognize there's a lot of competition in that field, but that creates challenges for the rest of us too. We're trying to get it right, not fast, right? So, but with all of that, we're trying to commit to a continuous improvement and innovation in our work, and to recruit the best of the best and the brightest of the brightest to work as police officers. And we really want to make sure that while we're doing that we have officers that reflect the community that we serve. And having the finest people in our department includes representing people from the most diverse communities. We want everybody to come in, and everybody has the ability to serve in many ways. I often say policing, for me, has always been and will always be about relationships. Relationships within the department, with other agencies, and most importantly, the relationships we have with all of you. It really matters. That is what allows us to be the best that we can be at the work that we're doing. Again, difficult work, but this relationships and community support from the chamber and other places that help us. And we really couldn't do our work without you. Absolutely, we're not as effective without the support of the community and support of the chambers and other organizations. We're going to continue to be our best selves and to do the work that's needed in our city, and to support and help this city be the best place ever. I say with all sincerity, I think Seattle is the best city in the country, and I've been all over, and I know that we have our challenges, but I absolutely believe 100% that we're going to work through all those challenges. We have the brightest, the smartest business people, officers, people working from city government, private business owners, citizens, community members, residents. Everybody here that I've come across is looking to make things better. I haven't met anyone who said, geez, I wish things were worse than they are today. They all kind of things to improve. And we all really want the same things, across the board. Safe schools, safe neighborhoods, productive businesses, healthy, happy communities, and I all want to contribute to that. And everything that we do is in that vein, trying to make that so for everybody. So I love what I do. I recognize we have our challenges, but my patch says service, pride, and dedication. And it starts at the top, and then it permeates throughout the organization. And I absolutely believe that about the Seattle Police Department. We're here to serve you. We thank you for your support. We appreciate all the support that we're receiving, and please know that we are committed, absolutely committed, to making sure that the city is as safe as it can be. Thank you for giving me a few minutes. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.